A warm welcome on behalf of the World Wind Energy Association to today's webinar. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to the webinar Litigation for Mitigation Constitutional Dimensions of Renewable Energy and Climate Change, which is done in collaboration by the WWEA Legal Working Group, the European Renewable Energy Federation, in partnership with Taylor Wessing, and as usual also supported by our supporter, German Profec Ventus. Before we start with the webinar with our speakers, let me just introduce you some general rules. At first, let me mention that this is a public event. It means that it's not only the participants here, but it's broadcasted live on YouTube. We're also recording the webinar, and the recordings will be made available later on our platforms on YouTube as well. So if you speak, if you show your face, if you switch on your camera, please be aware this is public. With this, again, a warm welcome to all our speakers, to our guests here. And then I would like to hand over to the President of the World Wind Energy Association, Peter Rae. Peter, it's my pleasure to hand over to you to welcome our participants.
Well, thank you very much, Stefan, and welcome to everybody who is able to join our webinar, which is one of a series of webinars, but perhaps for me, one of the most interesting that we've had, because the subject matter is not only wind, which is something particularly important in my view, and which I've had a lot of time to be involved with, but also as a long-term lawyer, I find this development one which I'm looking forward to hearing the various views. It's a situation where litigation for mitigation is something which has become very much to the fore in the past few weeks, with two decisions which have been taken by courts in Germany and in Australia. There may be more elsewhere, but those two have received particular publicity, and they are very interesting new developments in the law. It's important that we can discuss some of the questions which have been listed, and those who've been enrolling in this would have seen the questions which are going to be dealt with. I think we have the speakers who can carry the interest of everybody, plus the information that's necessary for us to get some better ideas about the answers to the questions which have been raised. I'll leave to them speaking about the detail of the cases and the law generally, but I would like to say that breaking new ground in the law is always a challenge. It's interesting, it's exciting. But it sometimes takes a lot of time. And I don't think that these two cases, which have been receiving a lot of publicity recently, very recently, I don't know how long it will take for them to be adopted in other parts of the world, or even in their own countries, where no doubt there'll be some other appeals or ways of endeavouring to challenge those decisions. Life is like that. But I think we're breaking new ground. It's an exciting event, and I look forward to hearing what everybody has to say. I again say thank you to all of the speakers. Thank you to those who are participating as part of the audience, and I look forward to that as I hand it back to Stefan to commence the webinar. Thank you very much, everybody, for your participation.
Thank you so much, Peter. Greetings to Australia. It's a pleasure. We have several people today here joining us from Australia.